What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of Game News, and today we're going to talk all about Sony and their reported plan to bring PlayStation to all phones, and we're going to talk Game Awards. We're going to talk 120 FPS gaming on the MacBooks, and we're going to talk about the most expensive case for the SteamDeck out so far, images and everything. And then we're going to talk about load times on SteamDeck. We got some news on that. So let's roll that intro. Alright, so let's talk about Sony, guys. Let's take a look at that right now. Sony is planning to bring PlayStation Now to phones, which, competing with Xbox, it's the right call. Microsoft wasn't the only big console maker hoping to bring its games to phones. The Verge said it has obtained a document from Epic Games' lawsuit against Apple indicating the iPhone maker had learned Sony was planning a mobile extension of PlayStation Now in 2017. The service would stream over 450 PS3 games at first and follow up with PS4 titles. Apple mentioned the PlayStation Now expansion as it was in early stages of developing Apple Arcade, its answer to Sony's service, as well as Xbox Game Pass. While Arcade didn't launch until 2019 and still doesn't include streaming, Apple saw PlayStation Now as indicative of a broader shift toward gaming subscriptions. Yeah, there's a lot of gaming subscriptions out there, man. I mean, Apple's doing it, everyone's doing it. It's a big thing, Mobile gaming's a big thing. Sony doesn't have a lot, really don't have any titles as far as I know. No first-person Sony titles on phones, but I mean, you see Nintendo doing it, you see everyone doing it. So it's not a shocker. I mean, that Sony was going to do it. I mean, you got Stadia, you got Amazon, you got everybody getting in it. So, provided Apple's scoop was accurate, it's unclear why Sony still isn't streaming games to smartphone owners. A hybrid of PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus is reportedly due in spring 2022, but the relevant rumor didn't make mention of mobile access. Sony has already declined to comment. Yeah, they ain't gonna say crap. There may have been a few factors at work. Sony might not have wanted to test Apple policies effectively blocking cloud gaming apps. Microsoft had to use the web to get around that limitation. There are also familiar technical challenges, such as adapting gamepad-focused titles to touchscreens, or ensuring reliable streams on cellular connections. Either way, this suggests Sony was at least considering a more ambitious version of PlayStation Now than the service you see today. You gotta wonder if they weren't just gonna do it not on all phones. Maybe it was going to be a Sony phone thing, and you see how Sony phones have done. That's it on the Sony front, guys. Let's take a look at Game Awards. I know there's a lot of people out there, a lot of controversy in the Game Awards, and we'll talk about that, but let's look at it. Well, the Game Awards 2021 looks forward by featuring some of the biggest announcements and reveals in the world of video games, and also a time to celebrate the incredible games that made this past year so special. From Game of the Year to innovation and accessibility to best narrative, there were a ton of categories that highlighted games of all types, all deserving recognition for what they've accomplished. However, only one game could win each category, and we've listed all the winners of the Game Awards 2021 below. Game of the Year. Recognizing a game that delivers absolute best experience across all creative technical fields. Deathloop, It Takes Two, which was the winner, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village. I know there was some stuff about Assassin's Creed Valhalla and all this, and It Takes Two not having a great story, but the gameplay being fantastic, to some of the gameplay being too easy. I think a lot of people thought it was going to be Deathloop. I didn't think it was going to be It Takes Two. I figured it was between Ratchet & Clank, Rift Apart, Deathloop, and Metroid Dread. I mean, I loved Metroid Dread. I don't know about you guys, but I loved Metroid Dread. But, yeah, there was a lot of controversy on that. But you know what? I think a lot of people can agree that It Takes Two was, at very least, a very awesome game. It was a great game. It just was. Best Game Direction, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. And that was Deathloop. Not much to say there, guys. Best Narrative, for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. Well, it was between Deathloop, It Takes Two, Life is Strange, True Colors, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, which was the winner, and Psychonauts 2. I'm really shocked. I'm shocked because I didn't think that was going to be a thing. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy being a winner, because it was out for what? Like 2 weeks? Not very long. Best Art Direction, for outstanding creative and technical achievements in artistic design and animation. Deathloop, winner. Kena Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, The Artful Escape. I thought Kena Bridge of Spirits was beautiful, but Deathloop again. Best Score / Music, Cyberpunk 2077, Deathloop, Nier, Replicant, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, The Artful Escape. That was Nier, Replicant. Best Audio Design, Forza Horizon 5 was the winner there. Best Performance, Maggie Robertson, Resident Evil Village. Games for Impact, Life is Strange, True Colors winner. Best Ongoing Game, Final Fantasy XIV Online, not a shocker there. Best Indie Game, Kena Bridge of Spirits, good game. Best Debut Indie Game, Kena Bridge of Spirits. Best Mobile Game, Genshin Impact, no shock there, other than possibly League of Legends, but that's still pretty new. Next year. Best Community Support, Final Fantasy XIV. Best VR AR Game. That's between Hitman 3, I Expect You to Die 2, Lone Echo 2, Sniper Elite VR, or Resident Evil 4. Not shocked it's Resident Evil 4. Innovation and Accessibility, Forza Horizon 5. Not shocked. Best Action Game, Returnal. There's a lot. There's between the ones on there. Far Cry 6, Deathloop, Chivalry, and Back 4 Blood. Good for you, Returnal. Good for you guys. Best Action and Adventure Game, Metroid Dread. Love it. Best RPG, Tales of Arise. Haven't played it, but I need to. I've heard a lot of good things. Best Fighting Game, Guilty Gear. Best Family Game, It Takes Two. Not a shocker there. Definitely should have won that. Forza Horizon 5 for Best Sports and Racing Game. Best Sim Strategy Game, Age of Empires. Not shocked. Best Multiplayer Game, It Takes Two. Not shocked. Content Creator of the Year, Dream. Best Esports Athletes, Alcaslandra, Simple Kostyliev. I'm sorry I butchered that, guys. That was bad, okay? I don't know how to, sorry. Did the best I could. Best Esports Coach. Best Esports Game, League of Legends. Not a shock there. Most anticipated game, Elden Ring. Wow, Elden Ring. Gosh, I did not expect that. Elden Ring over God of War and Horizon, and the sequel to Legends of Zelda. Good for you, Elden Ring. Oh man, bringing the hype. That's it for Game Awards, guys. Let's move on to some Mac news. 120 FPS gaming on Mac. GeForce Now RTX 3080 membership. NVIDIA has just launched the GeForce Now RTX 30 membership, which is powered by third-generation servers with RTX 3080 class GPUs. This means anyone with the membership will get up to 1440p, 120 FPS performance on games you're streaming. And for those with the new MacBook Pro, you'll be able to experience the fluidity of HFR gaming without connecting to an external display. Man, I want a new MacBook. Low latency gaming. When streaming games, and especially online games, latency is a huge deal. The new RTX 3080 membership provides the lowest latency possible on GeForce Now, allowing you to make sure you have the best possible engagement with the game you're streaming. For someone involved in competitive gaming, this is a must-have feature. $100 for 6 months. 8-hour session length, exclusive access to RTX 3080 servers, 1440, 120 FPS, PC Mac, 4K HDR Shield TV, Crysis Remastered game free. GeForce Now has never had a lacking content library, but they're now including games into the library that are directly compatible with the RTX 3080 membership features. Games like Cyberpunk 2077, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Crysis Remastered, Far Cry 6, just to name a few. Nice. One of the best aspects of the membership is freedom to customize your gaming experience with each individual game. With each game, you can tweak individual graphics settings to refine the experience for the game you're playing. This is just one of the many ways GeForce Now brings that PC gaming experience to Mac users. As a Mac user, it's hard to find a nice solution for gaming without having to jump through a bunch of hoops. Thankfully, GeForce Now makes boot camping an external GPU a thing of the past. There's never been this simple of a solution for high-end gaming on Mac like this. And that's why we highly encourage you to check out and try GeForce Now for free. Yeah, that's a nice little option. I mean, if you can afford a $2,500 Mac, you can probably afford $200 a year, guys. Just saying. All right. Let's move in to this is what the most expensive SteamDeck case looks like. Man, let's just take a second here, guys. SteamDeck. I really want an email and them to take my money and this thing to be on the way. I expected to be like having this thing by New Year's, man. Damn. It's pretty. Most people won't be able to get their hands on a SteamDeck until February. Ain't that the truth? But for anyone content just to look at a picture of the product until then, Valve has published a few photos of the carrying case. First we got the box, now we got the carrying case that will ship with the most expensive version of the handheld gaming PC. Valve is currently taking reservations for the SteamDeck models with 64, 256, or 512 storage. The entry-level model uses eMMC storage. The other features NVMe SSDs. The 512GB version boasts premium anti-glare etch glass as well as some exclusive goodies. That includes a slightly different carrying case. All cases are functionally identical, Valve says, but there are cosmetic differences in the 512 case. Details: the outer SteamDeck logo is a different color, the zipper pulls are different, and the case's interior fabric is different. Valve says there are also two small additions to the 512GB case that others don't have: a separate drawstring pouch for the power cord and a microfiber cleaning cloth. Clearly, the company hasn't taken inspiration from Apple and developed a SteamDeck polishing cloth. These add-ons probably don't mean that much on their own, but they could help take some of the sting off paying $649 for the high-end SteamDeck instead of $399 or $529 for the entry-level and mid-tier models, respectively. Everybody likes exclusive swag, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's a good-looking case. All right, let's take a look at one more thing on the SteamDeck. SteamDeck games take just a second or two to load when resumed from sleep. As fast as the best SSDs for gaming are at quickly getting you back into the best PC games, they still can't beat the best Xbox Series, consoles, and PS5's ability to jump right back into the game right where you left off. However, the SteamDeck's fast suspend/resume feature could be just what gaming PCs have been waiting for, taking just a second or two to get you back into the action. According to Peter Durant Thomas, according to Peter Durant Thoman, the SteamDeck's suspend/resume got way faster in the last system update. It's now literally a second or two. When asked how stable the feature is, Durant transparently replied that while they're not running the test you'd need to do, i.e. suspending/resuming hundreds of games all the time, I can say that since the update, that made it fast. It has worked 100% of the time for me. They also observed how generally better Windows ports run much better in Proton on DEC, even if they are more demanding games, citing that Valkyrie Chronicles 4 runs perfectly with super sampling set to 150%. Durant was responsible for the creation of the DS Fix mod, which addressed many of the issues found in the notorious PC port of Dark Souls. Since then, they formed PH3 Games, a company that specializes in delivering PC ports. Needless to say, there's no reason to doubt their findings here. It's unclear whether this particular feature will be possible on rigs with larger form factors when Valve releases SteamOS 3 at some point in the near future. However, it's functionality like this that could see many users trade the premium and performance problems of Windows 11 for Linux, and even create a boom in open source PC gaming. Their VR headset is fantastic. Their VR controllers are pretty much the best controllers you can get. Everybody loves them. I have faith. If Steam's doing something, they usually are doing a pretty good job. And I think Steam is going to make a big splash with the Linux situation. I think Linux is definitely going to boom. I think a lot of people are going to want to try Linux. I think everybody's going to want to be playing around in Linux more. And this is going to get Linux in more people's hands, even if they don't realize it's Linux in their hands. But it's a good thing. I think it's great. All right, you guys. That's it for game news. Wish I had more for you guys, but there's not really a lot of game news right now other than the Game Awards and a Steam case. But all right, guys, like I said, that wraps up episode 3 of Game News. Make sure you guys like, make sure you subscribe, leave comments below. If you wouldn't mind telling me what else you'd like to see, if you have any questions about any of this or how you feel about the SteamDeck delay. I'm sure there's a few of you that have an opinion on that. But definitely like, definitely subscribe. Be watching for some more videos, share with your friends, and until next time, you guys have a good night.